President Trump's tax plan gaining more public support. A new poll shows that 51% of Americans approve of the Republican tax law, according to the New York Times, which is up from the December reading. President Trump predicted the changing sentiment back when he signed the tax bill in December.
You're going to start to see that because we're signing today. They're going to start to see that in February. The numbers will speak. I consider this very much a bill for the middle class and a bill for jobs. And jobs are produced through companies and corporations, and you see that happening.
This coming as GOP lawmakers are debating which agencies will actually review new regulations for the tax overhaul, according to the Wall Street Journal this morning. Some Republican senators argue that the Office of Management and Budget should be involved, breaking a 35-year-old custom where tax regulatory work is managed by the Treasury Department as it oversees the IRS, or Treasury and IRS. Joining us right now is the former CEO of Verizon Wireless, Denny Strigl. Denny, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Nice to be here, Maria.
What's your take on all of this? Who should be overseeing the tax regulation writing?
Well, first of all, I have no problem with OMB being involved. I think we've got good leadership in OMB, and why not have another set of eyes to look at this, give it an economic analysis? And, you know, we've had so many regulations over the last, how many years, 12 years, that have just gone amok.
Absolutely.
And so what's the harm?
Yeah, and people don't trust the IRS. That's another thing after the whole targeting
that's a big part of it.
A couple of years ago.
Yes.
But I mean, it's so frustrating to sit here and look at OMB and Treasury fight with each other. And you've got, you know, the average American is sitting here saying, I don't care how much you distrust each other. I want somebody to own this process and do it the right way. I don't want to hear about infighting between these agencies. I mean, this is a sign of massive, you know, an unhealthy environment.
It's also a sign of deep state. How do you not control your own agencies? Because there's people who are working against this president within these agencies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so this is frustrating to me. I don't like more layers of bureaucracy.
Yeah, but my guess is, Brian, that this happens in government every day. For whatever reason.
Which doesn't make me feel any better. You made me feel worse now.
I'm with you there. But it probably happens every day. For some reason or another, this has become public, perhaps because of the history of it all, or people jockeying for position on this. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, Denny, looking at the rising popularity of the tax law that was just signed into law, do you think that Democrats that they kind of dug themselves a hole here? That they, the resistance, this is just crumbs. That the American people are going to be disadvantaged by this and so forth. And now people.
Well, they are going to have to defend why they voted against it.
Right. Yeah.
I think they have dug a very deep hole, and they don't yet seem to see this. They think that because raises and bonuses were being given at the first part of the year.
Nancy Pelosi called them crumbs.
Well, call them crumbs, but they think that by the elections, by later this year, that'll all be forgotten. I can tell you that I can remember tax changes way back until Jim Florio in my state raised taxes $2.8 billion in 1991. People don't forget this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And now people are looking, excuse me, Dave.
No, finish your thought.
People are looking at their paychecks. They're seeing that whatever it is, 20, 40 extra dollars a week, this all adds up.
$1,000 checks.
They're not going to forget that.
But there is some bipartisanship that we should note, and there are some Democrats, particularly in the Senate, John Tester and Heidi Heitkamp, to name a couple, who might get on board with rolling back the restrictions in Dodd-Frank, which would be a huge win for President Trump and a huge win for the Republicans. This is something that smaller banks in this country have been pushing for. They have been hamstrung. They have been basically paralyzed by these Dodd-Frank rules after the financial crisis, and they're planning on doing something about it this year. Of course, Senator Elizabeth Warren is about to lose her mind over this, that any Democrat could get on board with it, but that is a real possibility. Bipartisanship and rolling back more regulations.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
I can't wait for it to happen. But if you think about Dodd, I'm a director of a bank. And if I think about what the impact has been on the financial institution that I sit on the board on, I can't tell you the amount of people that have been added, of accounting firms that have been hired. The expense involved in Dodd-Frank are phenomenal. Now, at the time, did they think it was needed? Yes. But in fact, the way it has been implemented is way overbearing for financial institutions.
This is coming. I'm told that this is going to be one of the president's priorities in the next couple of weeks, actually, in terms of understanding and communicating the changes that are to come from Dodd-Frank, because you're right. That's why businesses were sitting on cash. And that's certainly why the banks were sitting on cash.
Exactly.
And I think it's important for, just really quickly, for businesses and people and individuals in this country to put pressure on their representatives, whether Democrats or Republicans, because these Democrats are going to get major pressure from the likes of Elizabeth Warren. I'm reading a quote that's in print today where she's like, some Democrats are supporting the Trump administration and Senate Republicans on a bill to roll back the financial rules we put in place. I'm amazed that Democrats would do that.
It is. I mean, we know that it's this rulemaking that basically stopped business from progressing. Businesses were sitting on cash, unwilling to put the money to work because they had to hire compliance officers and lawyers. Danny, you're cracking up.
No. I'm biting my tongue here. Why stop at Dodd-Frank?
Right.
We also have Sarbanes-Oxley.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there are other industries that actually have seen an impact from the rollback in regs. There are other industries that haven't seen anything. Let's talk telecom for a second and media, because Time Warner and AT&T fighting the government's decision to block the $85 billion merger. The trial is scheduled for next month for a judge to decide whether the deal would raise prices. Danny, what's your take on this?
Maria,
With your previous experience in the wireless communication industry.
I can't imagine why the Justice Department has filed suit on this. This is a vertical merger. The Justice Department in the last 40 years has not taken real issue with a vertical merger. In 2011, we had Comcast acquire NBC Universal.
Right. Yeah.
And what are they doing? I mean,
so you argue with the contention that this would raise prices for consumers? You don't believe that?
You don't think it's going to raise prices?
Look, this is a very competitive marketplace. Yes. I don't think that this will raise prices one bit. And by the way, the agreements that were put in place when Comcast acquired NBC Universal were behavioral in nature. Now, the Justice Department can go back and say, well, these aren't working. We need to revisit this. They could do the same thing with AT&T.
And AT&T's lawyers, though, they are scapegoating President Trump and saying that they were turned down because of President Trump's public statements against him. Do you think that that's a fair criticism?
I don't know. I won't even take a guess at that. I've heard the criticism. We've all heard the criticism of CNN in particular.
Right.
Okay, but some of that might be just words. The question is, was there real influence applied? I don't know.
I wonder how much deal making we're going to see this year, because as you see all of this money that companies are saving as a result of the tax plan, yeah, they're going to give money back to employees. They're going to give money back in terms of lower prices or investing in their business. They might buy back stock. They may also use that savings to do deals. What do you think?
I think some of the savings will be redeployed into capital spending. I think that this will be a great boom for the economy. But I also think, Maria, if stock is bought back, that's helpful too.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that is good for the economy, I think.
I'm just wondering if the deal flow picks up, because they'll have money to do deals as well.
Well, bank deregulation would help with that.
Right.
But also not pursuing really foolish DOJ, antitrust suits would also help with deal making. That can be an impediment to deal making.
I'm guessing that deal making would increase.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Denny,
sure. It's just a better environment.
Right. Denny, good to see you.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much. Denny Strigl joining us there.